back again. It's Mike again, Mike Ash. I think a quick thing we'd like to do is let people know that the ABCs of Home Improvement, with the show is named, will involve the next few weeks. We're planning on the next couple of months, and where we're going to discuss each show involving home improvement. The three of us together probably have over 60 years of experience. Maybe that's a little shy. Maybe it's closer to 65. But I don't want to tell you how old we really are.
Right. Thanks, Mike. I appreciate that. Earl does, too, I'm sure. You know, we have some emails here that came in for us over the last week while we were starting to put the show together. And one of the big things is always, you know, do we need a building permit, Mike, when we're doing our home improvement process? What kind of things do we need permits for? What don't we need permits for? Are we going to get in trouble when we refinance and so forth? So, you know,
comes up a lot.
That's a broad question. And each project probably stands on its own merit. You'd have to, again, bring a consultant out, or you could yourself, as the homeowner, go to the building department and explain to them the scope of work and what you're trying to accomplish. And usually the building inspector will advise you appropriately if you need a permit, or if not, if you don't need a permit. And then if you need the permits, obviously you have to get professionals involved again.
Everyone I've ever spoken to has that same type of feeling, and I always tell them before you go, it really behooves them to actually talk to a professional, someone who does this on a regular basis, so they can get most of their questions set up before they go and feel more comfortable at that point also.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You see much more of that than I do, too.
Well, and what about the other question that comes up here in these emails is responsibilities, you know, of the permits. Is that the builder's responsibility? Is the homeowner responsible? You know, who is actually responsible for the permitting of the project? Is it the architect? Is it the general contractor? Is it the construction manager? So
it always comes down to who owns the house, you know what I'm saying?
Well, to be sure, if you're going to hire a representative to do this work for you and represent you out there, this is where, again, the interviewing process comes in, because the person who takes out the permit is most likely the person that's going to be with you for the next 2 to 3 months in a sort of small-term, short-term marriage, so to speak. So you might, the partnership, you have to really be secure on that selection at the front end of the process, that you will be guided properly through the entire process, and it will be an enjoyable experience. Should be a lot of fun for everybody.
The only reason it's going to be enjoyable is because you're going to know ahead of time what's going to take place.
Correct.
I mean, people like Lee and people who run construction jobs on a regular basis, which we all do, bottom line is you see it every single day. And for us, it's not unknown, you know what I'm saying? There are times where we call the inspectors, we review things with them. As long as we're on key with them and talk to them up front and give them the idea what's going on, everything works pretty easy. It really does.
Exactly. Well, if we want to, Earl, you want to get back to the process again, because we were talking about the process there. We're in the, I know you say slow it down. We went through some of the things, but let's just talk about the process in general terms again and sort of recap some of the things we went over today, from starting at the beginning again with the budget, a very important thing. You know, we just can't reiterate it enough. You know, people sort of, you know, as an architect, when I go out and talk with people, they're very, very apprehensive about giving you a budgetary number, because it feels that you will classify them at a certain level based on their budget, and therefore, you know, there's certain things that happen at a dollar amount, and that's not true. You want to be able to have a clear-cut picture, and again, this is where the trust issue and the comfort issue has to come in. If you're not comfortable with the person sitting across the table or next to you at the table, that you're discussing a big investment of $100,000, $200,000, or even a small investment of $10,000 or $15,000 to do a kitchen or bathroom, you're not with the right person. It's time to move on to the next person. You have to allow somebody to be the manager and be able to be a surety for you and allow you to come up with the funds, get the funds that are available, work with the funds, and make sure your project goes from start to finish.
It moves nicely.
With the amount of money that you have budgeted. And that is what a good design build firm does, Mike. And again, I can't say it enough. American Design and Build has been on the number for the last 15 years on their projects, and they're always waiting to hear from you on some new projects. 283-6763.
Very good. Yes, develop a plan, get your budget, execute the plan. Let's. I think the key is communication.
Right. This is where that's
because
correct.
On a lot of projects they go south because there's no communication. There's nobody there that the homeowner or your customer, your client, can talk to. You need to speak English, and you got to have somebody there during the day that's going to
I
go
ju-
over the selections and why this is done and why that's being done, because they ask questions and they don't know.
That's
So-
correct.
Open
That's correct.
communication.
And again, being in this business for 20 some odd years, there's something that, you know, I'm going to throw this one out there, and Earl knows about it, and so does Mike. It's called unforeseen conditions. And this is where most contractors fail in their jobs in communicating, is that something will arise in an addition, a very small thing, but it could be on a $15,000 job. It could be a $1,200 or $1,500 extra, which is right now 10% of that job, because a plumbing device is broken, or you have some sort of an electrical issue, or a service needs to be upgraded, or a change has to happen in order for these new things to occur that was inside of a wall or was hidden before.
Unforeseen.
And a lot of these contractors skip by it, or they don't tell the homeowner, and then at the end of the project there's this big, you know, $2,000 or $3,000, $4,000 number that's thrown at them as a surprise. We at American Design and Build prefer, we have a 24-hour period. If you find something in the while you're doing the construction that is not in the contract, or that is something that was unforeseen, you must tell the homeowner and give them a number for it, and then it's up to them if they want to move forward with this process to make the allocated payment so that we can move forward. And again, this is why when we say in the budget you should keep 10 to 20% back for these types of things. It's not uncommon for that to occur.
Unforeseen.
Unforeseen conditions, very big one, and not a lot of the contractors want to talk to you about that.
When you open the can of worms, you open your
worms.
checking account.
That's it. That's right. And a good design build company will probably be able, because of their experience, to anticipate 80% of those, but there's still 10 to 20% of those which are just uncommon things. Each house has its own archaeology and history, and the way that the old builder had put it together, you may find these things still occurring. So it's a hit or miss, but we are very good and very accurate when it comes to those types of things because we specialize in that.
Yeah, well, that's what we do. Again, this is our inaugural show, and we are here on 9/11, 5 years after, and these phone lines are not lighting up. But
Well,
you know.
people might be solemn today.
yeah, give
Earl.
us a
You know,
call,
it's-
and we can talk about that, because
It's
I
a-
want to talk about that. I want to talk about a little bit about what's going on over there,
Yes.
and
Yes.
and where's it going, and what's going on.
Yep.
And I'd like to hear from the people to call in. 11:10 a.m. WTBQ. The phone number is 651-1110.